Hey, what's going on guys? Quamii here. Welcome back to the channel and thank you so much for checking out this video. So today's video is going to be a guide video for the Cycle Frontier, and I know I haven't done one in a while, so I knew I was well overdue. So today's guide video is going to be for solo players, and that's solo tips and also some general advice to help you improve your game. And this video has been requested because some players have been saying to me that they have been struggling to survive their solo raids, so I figured I'd help you guys out. So hopefully after watching this video, it will help you improve your skills and help you survive your raids more. So if that sounds good, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell and all that jazz guys. Much appreciated. Cheers for the support. Feel free to swing by the live stream and say hello sometime. I stream 6 days a week, Monday through to Saturday, at twitch.tv/Quamii. All other details will be in the description box down below. Now we got all that stuff out of the way guys, let's get into it. Okay, tip number 1. So I'm playing on Bright Sands, obviously doing a solo, and I decide to call a drill, and as the drill's coming down, I get on the drill and I get contested by an enemy player who obviously heard the drill. We were both running the same gun here. We're both running a Voltaic Brute. I believe we're both wearing the same armor, which is purple gear, purple armor. So when you get into a fight like this, it's really important to try and outplay the other player. So this is what I did to outplay this particular player. I got him to fire at me and I chose not to commit. And I basically baited him into reloading his magazine. And I know some people have a bad habit of instantly reloading. I call this the Call of Duty reload. You know how you shoot one bullet and then you got to press R to reload and you reload the magazine when you really didn't need to. You just do it because you're missing a bullet. It's kind of the same thing here. So a lot of the time when you're playing solo and you're up against another solo player, it's about forcing them to make a mistake. And that's what I did. I forced him to reload, and I'm sure the second that he did it, he regretted it instantly because I dropped down. As you can see, I dropped down and I just lit him up and he just instantly got melted and there was nothing he could do about it. So that's the first one. I forced this enemy player to make a mistake. So let's move on to tip number 2. Okay, tip number 2, and this one's a pretty straightforward one. This is a situation where I think I heard something outside and I decided to go and check it out. And lo and behold, there's a player just sitting right there and he lights me up. So, because in this type of situation, I need to back off and heal. Another reason why I'm backing off is because he has a scrapper. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're like, oh, well, it's a scrapper. Look, you got a core 47. The scrapper owns close range, man. It hurts so much, even for people who run purple and exotic gear. This gun really hurts. And I knew, like, he's got a good chance of killing me. So I needed to back off. I needed to get away from this situation. And because I've got a core 47, I need to put a bit of distance between us so I can use the advantage of my weapon compared to him using the advantage of his weapon. And I know, because I end up tagging him a couple of times, that he is running, I think it's white gear, but it could be green. Either way, he's got low tier gear. And this terrifies me because people with low gear generally have no fear. They just run at you because they don't care if they die. Because they got nothing to lose, right? So what I did was, I decided to put some distance between us and I got him to chase me. And I knew by getting him to chase me, he's going to be out in the open, which is what happens right here. And I light him up and I get the shots on that I needed, fighting at the range that I want to fight at, not the range that he wants to fight at. I got the few first shots in, he was already low, I just need to hit him a couple more times, and bada bim bada boom, he's done. So when you're in that situation, put some distance between you and the other player, make sure you fully heal, and use the advantage of your gun. And don't let them use the advantage of their gun. Make them run out in the open to you so they've got no cover. So you can just get free shots on them like I did in this clip right here. Okay, so that's tip number 2. Hopefully that works out for you too. Okay, tip number 3. So this one is a pretty simple one too. So there'll be times when you run into another player and you come to a stalemate. So like no one wants to move sort of a thing. And usually what happens is one player ends up pushing the other. And that's how the fight breaks out. So what happens here is, you can see here when I run into this player, I actually tried VoIPing to him, trying to be friendly and stuff, but he wasn't having any of it, which is totally fine. That means he wants to fight on, no problem. So he obviously wants me to push him, and then as I'm running, he wants to shoot at me as I'm running, because you can't fire your gun as you're running, right? That's what he wants. So he's waiting for me to run. So I outplayed him by running and then immediately stopping, because like I said, he wants to fire as soon as I start running because he's got cover at the moment and he wants to shoot at me while I'm out in the open. So as I sprinted towards him, I stop and then I immediately get ready to shoot him, and then as he peeked, I headshot him to get the kill. I'm really not sure what to call this, but I guess I'm going to go with like the run, stop, fake. I don't know. not the best use of words, I know. But I don't know what else to call this, but instead of just full sprinting towards him so he can get free shots on me as I'm running towards him and I'm out in the open, I run and I stop, so then he peeks me and I'm holding the angle with the crosshair on where his head would be, and I just fire, and then this is easy peasy. Just got him like that. A lot of players play this way, and I remember this used to happen a lot, especially in Escape from Tarkov. Some players will literally just sit there and they won't move until they hear you coming towards them. And then they'll peek from around the corner and pre-fire you. Very common in Escape from Tarkov. It does happen in the cycle, of course, but not as frequent as it does in EFT. But definitely something to look out for, just in case it happens to you. When you think this is happening, do what I did and outplay them that way. Okay, tip number 4. Tip number 4 is going to be talking about certain advantages and disadvantages of your weapons. So this is a situation where I get into a fight at the jungle camps. I kill one player, but that's not the one that we're going to be concerned about. We're concerned about the second player, who we didn't even know about. So I go and loot the armory, and then it turns out he's on top of the building, completely opposite of the armory, and he's got a bolty. He waited until I was in the armory before he decided to take his shot at me, and he missed with the bolty. That's his first mistake. Now that he's told me what weapon he has, I can play that information to my advantage. So I know it's a bolty and he can only fire one shot at a time. So what do I do about it? Knowing that it's a bolty, I decided to try and shoulder peek. So I faked that I was going to actually full peek him, but I only showed my shoulder and then I immediately ducked behind cover so he'd fire. So now he has to bolt his rifle, and then I hard peeked right here. And then I completely lasered him at that range with the advocate. Didn't even touch me. It's really little, small things like that that you add to your gameplay, which makes you so much better than the average bear. So that's the opportunity the shoulder peeking technique can provide you. So definitely add it into your repertoire and start doing it a little bit more. It'll help you a lot. Okay, tip number 5. So this one's a very, very simple one, and I honestly don't see it happen enough. And I'm of course talking about the simple flank, or flanking the enemy. Now, I usually see this in duos. Sure, people do that when teams are fighting. One of the teammates will end up trying to hit them from the side, and they'll flank around and try and get some shots to get a kill on the enemy team. Fair enough, but it doesn't happen in solos. Most people in solos don't make these kinds of moves. They're very, very timid and scared, and what they'll do instead is just sit there, try and not make as much noise as possible, try and be stealthy, and they'll just sit there and hold the angle, more or less. And I honestly believe that this is a mistake. So let me show you a quick example. So I get into a fight against a 2-man squad on Bright Sands. I'm trying to do the uplink thingamabob, and I get jumped. Fair enough, it happens. I kill the first player pretty quickly, but I'm pretty low, and I've got a heal, and I see an opportunity to, after reloading, to go and push from the side door on the right and flank around them after he's hit me a fair bit instead of healing. And I did it pretty fast too. Like this second player, he didn't see it coming. Obviously, he wasn't ready for it, and he was looking in the doorway to see where I'd gone off to. Another thing I should mention is that I don't like peeking from the same angle twice. I always try and give them another look, as in if they see me in one spot, I'm going to try and fight them from a different spot. I'll never try and peek them from the exact same spot, because chances are if you re-peek from the same angle, they've already got their crosshair waiting for you because they saw you there. So every opportunity that I get to not peek the same angle, I'm going to do it. And that's kind of what happened here. I didn't want to peek the doorway again. Instead, I immediately chose the flank and it worked out perfectly. Alright, moving on to tip number 6. So there are times when you get jumped by another player and you're kind of stuck at a single position, meaning you can't really move. It's usually like a rock or a tree, somewhere very stationary, and like you don't have much mobility within where you got stuck, pretty much, where you're getting held down. So in these types of situations, I notice a lot of people will make a vital mistake. Most people will try and run from that spot to get to a safer location whilst running out in the open, thus taking shots, therefore dying. Don't do that. So I know it sucks to be in that one spot and you're kind of pinned down, but it's not the worst. It's not the end of the world. What you should do is this. If you're like me in this clip here and you got hit to low and you're fighting with this other player, and you obviously need to heal, don't just sit there completely stationary and heal, because whilst you're doing that, the enemy player can hear you healing. So you need to make sure you have eyes on him at all times. And by having eyes on him, it prevents him from making moves. So my suggestion to you is this. Heal as you're moving to keep gaining vision at the same time when you're healing. So basically, you're keeping eyes on him whilst you're healing. So by doing this, if the enemy player decides to try and make a move on you, such as push to the right or left or whatever it is, you'll be able to see what he's doing and you won't be able to just get away with it. Things like that can really turn the edge of the fight, and eventually the player can end up making a mistake, which is exactly what this player does, and I capitalize on that, and then I change positions, and then he chases me, and then I end up getting free shots on him, and then I win this fight. But I wouldn't have made it this far if I didn't do what I did before, which was to heal and move and keep looking at him and keep sight of the enemy so he can't make a play on me. Okay, tip number 7, and this is the last tip that I've got for you guys today. So this one really pees me off, especially when it happens to me. There are times when you get into a big fight and you end up winning, and then you got to collect your bearings and all that, you heal, etc, etc. I will have to strongly suggest, by the way, strongly suggest to just loot whatever the hell you need, grab it all if you want, but get the hell out of there straight away. You might be thinking, why? Why is this important? It's because it is so easy to get back into the same game in the Cycle Frontier. Chances are that player is peed off because you beat him in a fair fight, right? He's going to quickly gear up again and he's going to beeline straight to that position. It's happened to me so many times that I have lost count at the amount of times that this has happened to me. It's even worse if you're a content creator or a streamer and you've got like Twitch TV in your name, just for example. Chances are that player is going to go to your stream, see where you are, see the direction that you're going, and then they're going to try and get back into the same game, and then they'll try and jump you because they'll see where you're going. It's happened to me a few times. I'm not happy about it. It does suck, but there's not much I can do about it. So if you're another content creator like me and you happen to have Twitch TV in your name, this is definitely a reality that can happen to you. If you're not a broadcaster, even if you're just a regular player, this can still happen to you. People will, after you kill them, they're going to get back into the same raid and try and get to that spot as quickly as possible. The same thing happens when you end up trading with another player and both of you die. Chances are you're both going to try and get back into the same game, and it all depends on who was faster, quickly gearing up to get back into the same game, and who gets the better spawn so you can go grab the gear again. It's the same thing. It's the same principle. They're going to be raging and they're going to try and get back in the same game in order to kill you or to grab up the gear that's left behind. While we're on the topic, I must say this is probably one of the biggest peeves I have with the game. The fact that it's so easy to get back into the same raid, and for this possibility to even occur. I've said this many times on my Twitch stream that I would really like it if it was similar to that of Escape from Tarkov, where if you're dead, you're dead. That's it. You cannot get back into that same game under any circumstances. That's just my opinion. I just think it's stupid that people can come back into the same game. It even happened to me the other day. I was doing a drill on Crescent Falls, and the same two-man squad kept coming after me as I was doing a drill. I killed them twice. Do I need to say that again? I killed them twice. And they got back into the same game. A third time. The third time. And then I fought them again. I ended up killing one of them, but they ended up, the second player ended up killing me at the end, which really sucked. But like, man, it's just so BS. This is something that just shouldn't occur. I shouldn't have to fight the same squad 3 times in the same game. It's baloney to me. It's ridiculous. But people play like that. They'll keep going back into the same game to go back to the same spot to get their gear. So do me a favor, guys. If you get a big kill and there's a heap of stuff on the ground, just pick up whatever you need and get the hell out of the game. Because chances are that guy's gearing up and he's going to try and get back into the same game as you and try and fight you for it again. And like, you shouldn't have to go through with that like I did, because that's BS. So don't be greedy, just get the stuff that you need, and then get the hell out of there. If you want to stick around and be greedy, that's up to you, man. But I do not suggest it, because the amount of times it's happened to me, we could be here all day talking about it, and it sucks. And I don't want it to happen to you, okay? Alright guys, that's kind of all I got for you today. Hopefully you found this video useful, hopefully you found it educational and that you learned something. If you want me to do more videos like this, leave a comment down below. I do have more guides in the making in order to help new players make their way in the Cycle Frontier. I know it's hard playing as a solo and some people even loathe it because it's very difficult to play solos most of the time. But you gotta hang in there, man, and you gotta keep working on your gameplay, and hopefully these tips will help you improve your gameplay enough to where you can now hold your own in solos. With that being said, if you could, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell and all that jazz, guys. Much appreciated. Cheers for the support. Feel free to swing by the live stream and say hello sometime. I stream 6 days a week, Monday through to Saturday at twitch.tv/Quamii. I've recently been doing YouTube streams, YouTube live streams, which is on my Sundays. So hopefully you guys drop by and I could possibly see you then too. All other details will be in the description box down below. Thank you all so much for watching. Remember to keep practicing, keep improving, hang in there, stay Quam, and hopefully I'll see you on the live streams.